Shanti, 29th April 2023, Baapdada Sakar Murli. In the essence, Baba says, sweet children, it is only Srimad that will make you elevated. Following the dictates of your own mind and of others will make you cursed. Therefore, never forget Srimad. Question: who is a Satopradhan effort maker and who is a Tamopradhan effort maker? What is the difference between the two? Answer: a Satopradhan effort maker promises to make effort to claim the full inheritance from the Father. He races to stay in remembrance. He has the aim of claiming number one. A Tamopradhan effort maker says, whatever is in my fortune is fine. It is fine if I become a subject. Maya causes such obstacles for such souls that they drop out of the race. Song. The heart says thanks to the one who has given me support. Om Shanti. When children sit here personally, they know that they are living souls. Here, there would only be living human souls. When a soul doesn't have a body, it is naked. That is called being bodiless. You are sitting here in your bodies. Unless souls and the Supreme Soul enter bodies, they cannot speak. You living embodied souls know that you are now sitting personally in front of the Father. You are sitting in exactly the same way as you did when you came in front of Him 5,000 years ago. Children would definitely claim their inheritance from their fathers. You know that you are sitting personally in front of your unlimited Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. Why are you sitting here? To claim your unlimited inheritance from the Father? At school, they understand that they are studying with a teacher to become an engineer or a barrister. They have that aim and objective. You children understand that the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, sits in the body of Brahma and teaches you Raj Yoga. God speaks. It is explained to you, children, that the incorporeal one is called God. Living souls definitely take rebirth. When you ask sannyasis whether human beings take rebirth, they wouldn't say that human beings don't take rebirth. How else would they speak of 88.4 million births? Ask them, do you believe in rebirth? It is true that a soul sheds a body and takes another according to his sanskars. Human beings do this, but they don't take 8.4 million births. They take 84 births. This proves that the first birth would be very good and satopradhan. Souls in their last birth would be dirty and tamopradhan. From 16 celestial degrees, you become 14 degrees and then 12. You definitely take rebirth. You should ask them, okay, has God taken rebirth or is He beyond birth and death? Look, this is a very subtle point. If they say that He is beyond birth and death, tell them that that means it is not right to have Shiv Jayanti. They would say, but Shiv Jayanti is celebrated. Explain to them, yes, there is Shiv Jayanti, however, there isn't the death that is associated with birth. If he died, then he would also have to take rebirth. The Father never takes rebirth. Only once does he enter this body. He doesn't take rebirth. The Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul is beyond rebirth. He never becomes from Satopradhan. All souls take birth and rebirth and become impure. The Father then comes to make them pure. This proves that souls become impure. Souls come here pure and then Maya makes them impure. The Father can never give dirty directions to the children. Impure human beings give impure directions at this time. The pure father says, don't become impure. That is, don't indulge in vice. This has become a land of sorrow through the dictates of Ravan being followed. First of all, there was the land of happiness. It isn't that it is the father who gives happiness and sorrow. No. The father can never give children directions that cause sorrow. It is Maya that causes sorrow. By conquering that Maya, you become the conquerors of the world. People don't understand the meaning of Maya. They consider wealth to be Maya. It is said, this one has a lot of intoxication of Maya. However, it is the five vices that are called Maya. If you have the intoxication of the five vices, Maya will completely eat you. In the golden and silver ages, there is no intoxication of Maya. They don't burn an effigy of Ravan there. It is effigies of powerful enemies that are made. Ravan's kingdom begins after half a cycle. When you become body conscious, all the other vices also come. These things are not mentioned in the scriptures. It is written that the deities go onto the path of sin, that is, they indulge in vice. Because of coming under the influence of Maya, they are influenced by others. They continue to follow the dictates of others. You are now following Srimad. The dictates of others means the dictates of Maya. Shri means the elevated directions of the Father. Those are the dictates of others, the dictates of Ravan. This is why the Father has said, the devilish community is unhappy in the chains of Ravan. Human beings have understood the duration of the golden age to be hundreds of thousands of years. Therefore, you explain to them the account of 5,000 years. It is 2,000 years since Christ existed, 2,250 years since Buddha existed, and 2,500 since those of Islam came into existence. All of those are in this half of the cycle. Before that, it was the kingdom of deities. So, how can you say that it is hundreds of thousands of years since the deities existed? If there were that many years, there would be a lot of people. There aren't that many. In 5,000 years, there are 5 to 6 billion people. They say that 3,000 years before Christ, there was the original eternal deity religion in Bharat. When 5,000 years are completed, the play comes to an end. No one knows these things. Whatever I am, however I am, no one knows how the cycle turns. The Father alone explains. This is the Gita. The Father came and taught you easy Raj Yoga, and that is why it is called the Gita. For instance, the things Christ taught are called the Bible. That is an eternal name that has been given, that repeats. Baba explains to the old mothers too. These are very easy matters. Simply remember the father and the inheritance. When a child is born, it means an heir is born. You understand that you are Baba's heirs. You have come to meet Baba once again after 5,000 years. You would repeatedly speak of 5,000 years. Even those who come 2 or 3 years later would say, we have come again after 5,000 years. These are very deep matters. Baba asked, have we met before? You reply, yes, Baba. The soul says through this mouth, Baba, I met you 5,000 years ago. You came to give teachings through this body. Those who are real children understand that they are sitting here to claim their unlimited inheritance from the Father. We now belong to the unlimited Father through Brahma. The Father asked, do you recognize me? I am your Father. You would say, yes, Baba, you are the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, the Father of us souls. The Father himself says, I gave you the inheritance and sent you to heaven. Maya then snatched away that inheritance and am giving it to you once again. Maya snatches your inheritance away while the Father is giving it. This play has been performed many times and it will continue to be performed. There is no end to it. You belong to the Father. Some are real and some are step. Some become real children and some become stepchildren. There are weak and strong ones. Maya completely conquers even the strong ones. Children say, Baba, I will continue to claim my inheritance for as long as I live. There is a big burden of sin on your heads. To the extent that you stay in remembrance, so your souls will accordingly become charitable souls from sinful souls with this fire of yoke. Fire purifies things. Your fire is the fire of yoga. This is a sacrificial fire that the unlimited master has created. No other sacrificial fire continues for this length of time. They create sacrificial fires that last for 5 to 7 days or for a month. Your sacrificial fire has continued for so many years. The Father continues to speak to you. He says, don't forget. Simply remember me and your burden of sins of many births will continue to cut away. None of the sannyasis or scholars would now know how to say this. God speaks. Remember me, your Father. He has definitely come and that is why he says. The Father says that you now have to return home. You souls are very impure at this time. You know that you will now continue to be purified by having yoga. The Father says, drink the nectar of knowledge and become the masters of pure heaven. This bridegroom has come to purify you brides. He says, constantly remember me alone. You promised, when you come, we will connect ourselves to you and break away from everyone else. We will surrender ourselves to you. A husband surrenders himself to his wife, and a wife surrenders herself to her husband. Here, you have to surrender yourselves to the Father. When they get married, they surrender themselves to one another. The Father now says, don't surrender yourselves to human beings. You promised, I will surrender myself to you. You also surrender yourself to me. The Father says, when you surrender yourself to me, I will make you constantly happy for 21 births. This is such a huge inheritance. The Father says, I now give you a blessing which is the inheritance. You must simply constantly remember me alone. Only by following Srimad will you become elevated. Don't forget this. Place this picture of Lakshmi and Narayan in your home. We are once again claiming our inheritance from the Father. He has come from the supreme abode. However, Maya, the eagle, is no less. She grabs you. This does not refer to everyone, it is number wise. Some completely forget that they are claiming their inheritance from the Father. While sitting here, you become intoxicated. But as soon as you leave here, you forget. You become refreshed in the morning, but forget throughout the whole day. Those who were doing very good service for 4 or 5 years are not here today. They were disobedient in some way. Maya slapped them hard and they left. Baba says, children, Maya is very strong. When you are disobedient, Maya makes you fall very hard. This is why it is remembered. Those who ascend taste the sweetness of love. You can see how some are totally destroyed. They will surely go to paradise. But the status is number wise. Although everyone there is happy, there is still a difference in each one's status. Students in a school make effort to attain a status. Don't think that it is fine if you become subjects or that whatever is in your fortune is fine. No, that is called Tamo Pradhan effort. Sato Pradhan effort is when you make effort and promise to claim your full inheritance from the Father. This is a horse race. Not everyone will claim number one. This is a human race. Maya creates such obstacles that she makes you completely drop out of the race. Your race is a human race. The soul says, I have been very unhappy. I have become very distressed by taking one body after another. He says, I now want to go to Baba. Baba has shown you the way. Baba, I will stay in remembrance of you. The more time you are able to make available for this, the better will be. You stay in the government service for 8 hours, do you not? Therefore, stay in this for 8 hours. To make the world into heaven is such important service. Simply remember the Father and remember the land of happiness, that's all. If you do 8 hours service, you will claim the full inheritance. By having remembrance in this way, your sins will be absolved. Give 8 hours to do this service. Otherwise, you are free for 16 hours. As much as possible, repeatedly remember Baba. You can remember Baba while sitting anywhere. The best time you can find is in the early morning. There is a saying in Sindhi, early to bed, early to rise. This virtue makes you great. People without knowledge sleep for 8 hours. Your sleep should be half that. 4 hours sleep is enough. You are Karam yogis. Go to sleep at 10 p.m. and wake up at 2 a.m. Remember Shiv Baba. If you are unable to wake up at 2 a.m., then wake up at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. That is a first class time. It is extremely peaceful then. Everyone becomes bodiless at that time. There is absolute dead silence at that time. It becomes like the incorporeal world. It feels as though everyone is lying dead. If you remember Baba at that time, that remembrance will become firm. The remembrance at Amrit Vela has a good effect. Most of the time, Baba stays awake at night. By doing physical work, your head becomes heavy. There isn't any tiredness in doing subtle service. Earning an income would not make you tired. Earnings bring you happiness. Therefore, by waking up early in the morning and staying in remembrance, there is a lot of income for you to earn. Acha. To the sweetest beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, Baapdada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children. Spiritual children, in return to the spiritual father, says good morning, Namaste, Namaste, Namaste. Thank you so much, Baba. Essence for Dharana, point number 1. Wake up at Amrit Vela and practice becoming bodiless and remembering the Father. In order to claim your full inheritance, run the race of remembrance. Definitely stay in remembrance for 8 hours. Point number 2. Surrender yourself fully to the one Father. Don't allow the dictates of your own mind or those of others, but follow the elevated directions of the Father. Blessing. May you finish all weight by doing a spiritual exercise and become equal and close. May you finish all weight by doing a spiritual exercise and become equal and close. Explanation to this. A spiritual exercise means to be incorporeal 1 minute, to be an awake angel the next minute, to be a corporeal Karam Yogi the next minute, and to be a world server the next moment. Do this exercise daily and your burden of waste will finish. When that weight is finished, you can then become double light like the beloved and the partnership will then be suitable. If the beloved is light but the lover is heavy, the partnership would not be suitable. The spiritual beloved is telling the lovers to become equal and close. Slogan: to spread the fragrance of divinity from the bouquet of your life is to be an embodiment of virtues. To spread the fragrance of divinity from the bouquet of your life is to be an embodiment of virtues. Acha. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti.